Hey folks, welcome to the segment we are calling Between Two Racks. I'm Andrew Essig, here with my co-host Sean Crocker, and today we're talking with Dani Leiran.
That's me.
Danielle Leiran. How are we doing today, Dani?
I'm good, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Straight up just nervous.
We're all friends here. So we want to talk about your fitness journey a little bit. Tell us,
Okay.
What do you do for a living?
I am in the restaurant industry, so I started out cooking, and I've kind of transitioned to front of house. So I do that.
What's front of house?
Like serving.
Okay.
I did the whole culinary school thing, but now I find that I love serving people and interacting and being with people. So I do that 5 days a week, and then I also help like this other private chef with some business as well, helping him do kitchen things. And then a few days a week I do eyelashes too.
Oh wow.
Weird, huh?
I mean, not really. Okay, and then how many? How long ago did you start CrossFit?
I know I was doing it a few years before I moved here.
Sean and I already know because we looked it up, but we want to see what you say.
I know I will be a member here 5 years in July. Was it July? No,
It's
August. It's August.
It is August.
It's like August 2nd or something.
Oh,
or 3rd.
good. So you're all in. Did you do other types of fitness before CrossFit and/or play sports?
I was not into sports at all as a kid. Just wasn't my thing. I guess I did swim for a long time. It was decent at that. But other than that, in high school, no.
You swam competitively?
Yeah.
Were you into cooking when you were a kid?
Nope. I just did it because it was like a stress relief, right? And then it became like my biggest stressor as a job kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but that's just kind of how I got into cooking. But I wasn't competitive sport-wise at all.
Was joining the gym like your first exposure to like organized fitness or fitness at all?
I was doing I would follow like bodybuilding programming or like trying to get some direction, right? But it didn't do much for me because I was
like a big box gym, like a Globo gym type thing?
Yes.
Okay.
But I was also in the mindset of like less is more with like food and everything, and I just didn't know what I was doing at any given point because there was a point where I remember, you guys, it was so weird, my hair started like thinning out because I just wasn't eating well at all because I just didn't know what I was doing, and I was doing fasted cardio and stupid stuff like that. So it's, I guess, a humble beginning to look back.
Were you doing any meal prep at that time?
No,
or
I don't even remember what I was eating at that time.
where were you?
Think about what
was your cooking journey?
How does that play into cooking? Because I feel I've worked with a lot of chefs or people in the restaurant industry, and nutrition is generally the opposite of your experience.
Yeah.
It's a lot of eat when you can, over trash cans. So it's just at that point you're I just need to eat something, right?
Yeah.
So you're just I'll eat whatever. So there wasn't a whole lot of thought that went into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If anything, I was I'm eating for free and I'm broke right now, so I'll kind of take what I can.
Yeah.
So it was more so like that.
What were you? And then at that time, were you and feel free to not answer, but were you having issues with weight or not eating enough, or did you have any kind of eating?
I know I had
problems?
a very unhealthy connection with food. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just not just trying to. I don't even remember how I was eating, but I just remember I was always thinking less is more kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because obviously I wanted to lose weight, but I wasn't doing it right, and I didn't know what to do properly to lose it. So it was a very stagnant. It was very stagnant. Nothing really was happening.
Yeah. Okay. So talk us through that kind of phase when you joined the gym. Where were you at in your life? What was your
a
mental?
CrossFit gym?
Yeah.
I remember I watched one of those.
Did you join another CrossFit gym before Gambit?
Yep.
Okay.
In Iowa. I joined there for I don't remember how long I was a member there. It wasn't too long before I moved to St. Louis. But I remember seeing one of those documentaries that they do on Netflix on the games or whatever, and I was that looks so badass. So I think I joined 3 days later, and then I was hooked. But I was super resistant to group classes, right? And the whole dynamic of that, because if you're in a Globo gym, you just mind your own business and you have your own music.
What was the reason you were off-put by group classes?
I guess maybe it was just intimidating because I wasn't ever into sports.
Yeah.
So not knowing the power of the community and the energy and the help from others.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed.
And that experience at your first CrossFit gym, was overall a positive experience, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you joined another one, so.
Because I was like, I have to join one when I come here. It took me like a month to find Gambit, I would say, as I like shopped around a little bit, and then.
So your exposure to CrossFit was like kind of the competitive side of things, which is unusual to me. It seems like the games is almost more of a turnoff to people.
Okay,
because they see this highly competitive, people doing muscle ups, walking on their hands, all this kind of stuff, and then they think, well, I can't do that, so I'm not going to bother to set foot in a gym.
Totally.
But that kind of motivated you to go into the gym?
It looked like intoxicating. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like.
So what was your fitness like? So going into the gym, were you thinking, I'm going to be able to do all these things, or? Did you have goals in mind?
I didn't have goals. I was just like, it just looks fun, and I was so thirsty for a change of pace because I was like just bored and done with whatever I was doing.
I mean, it's a great mentality to have. I'm just curious. As somebody who owns a gym and like looks at ways to market it, I'm always, like I said, almost looking at the games as a thing that people, like an objection that people have to overcome. And I always, Sean and I were just talking the other day. It's like watching Formula One and then saying like, oh, I can't get in my car. Like that's crazy. Looking at these people tearing around a racetrack at 200 miles an hour and then thinking like, well, I can't drive. That's because I can't do that. It's like, well, it's not the same thing. Like you watch the games, and then there's a level. There's so many levels in between there. Were you? So you weren't like put off or discouraged at all that you kind of walked in and you were like, I can't do a muscle up and I can't walk on my hands and do all that. You just were caught up in the process.
In the gym was like very approachable and like here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they like were very thorough with their coaching too, which maybe that helped as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like appropriate scaling and helping when needed. So that was really nice. And I also remember the gym programmed a bunch of AMRAPs. So it was so cool. So you're never the last one done.
Yeah.
It always just like ended together.
That can always be a hard one for new people, like being the last one on the floor.
Yes.
There's like two types of people. There's the people that love being cheered on if they're the last one. And then I feel like a lot of people that I talk to, they're probably the most vocal. It's like, please God, like I will just not do those reps if I'm the last one.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I remember when I came here, there wasn't as many AMRAPs, and I was like, oh no, you just have to like face it, right? You're like, and you don't even realize it till you're out of that environment.
Makes you great at scaling though. If you're the guy or girl that doesn't want to be the last one to finish, like you're gonna scale appropriately.
Yeah.
Straight up.
So you mentioned you swam. Like, what role did sport play like in your childhood? Like, what period were you swimming? How old were you?
That was like, was I in high school? I think I was like maybe 9th grade. I think it was that I stopped doing it. But I grew up in like this small town, and to be like on this state team in the winter, I'd have to drive like an hour there and an hour back, and then I would just get home so late, and I was so tired of it. So I ultimately just got burnt out.
Yeah.
And that was the end of my.
Where'd you grow up?
Northeast Iowa, so like walk on. It's like 20 minutes from both the Wisconsin and Minnesota borders.
Okay. And how early did you start swimming?
Oh, gosh, I was young. I don't even remember.
So in between, and I just asked because I'm curious about that, the kind of shift we see a lot of times. People kind of leave competitive sport, and CrossFit's kind of like a replacement for that sometimes. Like in that period where you weren't swimming, did you miss having a competitive aspect, like a competitive sport in your life, or you just kind of like phase out of it and didn't think about it?
I don't think I thought about it. I think I was relieved to be out of it for a while. And then I think when I grew bored, I think I did miss it until I started doing CrossFit again. Do you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm like, consider myself super competitive, but it is nice to have like the push from just anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious about that because I can kind of relate. Like I played soccer when I was very young, and it was obviously competitive, but it was very much like kind of a win or lose, we're going to get pizza afterwards.
Yeah, exactly right.
And so I wouldn't call myself much of a competitive person. So I just kind of like, I left soccer and I was like, never thought about it again.
Yeah.
It was like an inconvenience
Yes.
to me. It didn't. I never like enjoyed the pressure of competition. But what I love about CrossFit is you can kind of compete when you want. If you're just attending classes, like you can definitely show up and just say, I'm just going to check the box today. I'm just going to move through and not stress myself about it. And there's other days where I think, okay, this stuff's kind of in my wheelhouse. My body's feeling good. My mind is good. I'm gonna just lay
That's
it
a
all
good way
out.
to put that, for sure. Selective competitiveness.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to be fun about having these conversations is everybody's got a different kind of perspective on it. So I'm just curious about that whole process. How would you say your fitness now has impacted? Oh, hello.
Hey.
How would you say your fitness now has impacted your daily life?
Oh, in so many ways. I feel like I can with work, lift and not lift anything, but I am physically capable to do a lot more than a lot of people in a kitchen. Just because going back to the eating in a kitchen or anything or in the industry, people just put themselves they don't prioritize health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have the ability to go all day at work and still be able to come here and do life and feel good at the end of the day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when somebody asked me kind of a similar question. What was, I forget the exact question, but it was what do I like about CrossFit, or what do I like about fitness? And to me I was functionality, just being able to function out in the real world and like you said, lift anything and go in, have the confidence that you're just you're standing around a group of people looking at a heavy object or talking about a team lift or something and you just get in there. Well, I'm just going to lift this and move.
Yes. You're just so able-bodied throughout everything that happens in the day.
And you're very aware of your capabilities. That's what I've noticed too. I'm not always the strongest person. It's not like I can lift anything, but you kind of just look at things and you go, I can lift that or I can't. Or
right, to be able to just pick up a 50-pound bag of flour. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just something so.
And you know what 50 pounds is going to feel like. You know how to brace and prepare yourself for it.
Yep, totally.
So what Sean brought up a good point. We were talking about some questions before. You kind of over the last year or so started jumping on board with some of the competitors training, with what we call Zane training, and kind of stepping up your game a little bit. Tell us about that. What kind of inspired you to do that, and what has that process been like?
Well, I feel I feel like fellow gym members have just put the little bug in my ear to do it, such as Sean, you know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah.
I guess in just realizing you can, for so long I just never thought I could, do you know what I mean? And then to be able to push yourself and maybe see that you can, it's fun. It's also hard to you don't want the spotlight of doing, personally I don't want the spotlight of doing well in a workout. I don't does that make sense?
Yes.
I don't, it's scary, you don't want it. So it's easier to just not do it and just not necessarily push yourself. So I guess that's a scary hurdle to get over.
I mean, do you feel like you're in doing Zane training? Do you feel like you're in a spotlight?
No, but if you do well in a workout and then people are you did really great, I don't know, that's not I guess, I don't know, it's hard to accept that.
Well, yeah, the other day you're in class and I think Kelly was coaching and made you use more weight than you wanted to use. It was a clean and jerk or power snatch, barbell workout.
Oh yeah,
I forget what it was.
There was the rowing and then the toes to bar and then it was the 105-pound overhead squat. I was there's no way I can do this, right? Especially after all that. Was it 6 of them? And sure enough, you guys were try it, try getting under it differently, and I was okay. But everyone cheered me on and it was so cool. But I didn't being at the end. You know what I'm saying? And everyone's looking at you and you're I know these reps are sketchy, but that's, wow, what a weird full circle thing right there, huh?
Yeah, we're talking about not wanting to be the last person done. I think you were the last person done that day, but you had
but it was a fun surprise, you're I was I'm for sure gonna scale this going into it, and then to not. It's fun.
So what else have you noticed?
Buzzer beater.
Say that?
She had a riveting buzzer beater.
Oh yeah.
At the very last one.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you got your first muscle up, right?
Oh yeah, in the open. It was also a very sketchy rep, but it happened nonetheless.
And then you did 4 more.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
And then there was a workout where we had just a week or so later, there was 10 of them in there. And I did all 10. I mean, I really haven't hit much after that, but it's fun. It's scary.
Do you think that's more specifically to ramping up your your training with Zane training, or is that kind of a natural progression? Like, do you feel like that Zane training has accelerated your training, or has it just been kind of more of the same, or
No,
is
I
it
definitely
totally
think
different?
it helped a lot. Like now, just like more happy to do bonus rounds and like knowing that like, gosh, what was those workouts like with wall balls and rowing to be like,
Yeah,
I can for
rounds.
sure do this amount unbroken at any given time.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like now I kind of enjoy burpees. And I don't know, I really liked that ST piece because it was mentally enough to not like totally discourage you. And you're like, 12 minutes, who's gonna do it with me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
like 2 movements, we can do it. It was fun, I think.
Yeah. And so the idea with that is like, you don't, that's not something you have to do year round. It's like you can
Yes.
just kind of throw it in, kind of focus on it for
Yes.
6 or 8 weeks or whatever it is, and then. So are you participating in any extra programming right now?
I'll do like the bonus rounds, but I'm not doing any of the endurance or ST right now.
Sure.
So bonus
But you
rounds.
think you'll get back on?
I hope there's
on some
another
of that?
one. Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, there'll be another one. But
Yeah.
I'm just curious about your experience, like what, for maybe people that are watching it are kind of curious about what that
Yeah, I thought,
process looks like and how it kind of fits into your day to day.
I feel like it's so daunting because I remember thinking, I was like, I don't want to be at the gym for like 14 hours a day, right? You know,
Yeah.
that's a very dramatic number, but it was like, the longest one was what? Was it 18?
20 minutes.
It was
I think,
20
if you
minutes?
made it all the way through.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
last week. So you're
Yeah,
like,
the very last week.
which was mentally also the hardest, but like, you're like, this is it, just 2 more, I
Yeah.
can do it. And I even remember like, Ken, he got on board, he didn't do it, but he was always just like, I'll do it with you.
Yeah.
Sean, we did it too. But like, it's fun to just have some people there's always someone willing to do it with you.
Yeah, for sure. Where are you at mentally and lifestyle wise now going forward? Like, what are your goals for yourself? Do you want to share your age?
Oh yeah, I'm
With everyone?
Yep, 28.
Okay. So you're 28. So what are your personal kind of goals moving forward from here?
I would love to be able to do just every movement. Do you know what I mean? Like, from walking, handstand walks to like, I don't know, just every movement I want to have under my belt.
So what's on the list?
Well, handstand walking, handstand
Okay.
push-ups, being confident in muscle-ups during workouts, and I need to get ring muscle-ups too. So there's a list. So
So you've got bar muscle ups, not ring.
well,
not
kind
ring
of. They're
muscle-ups.
super sketchy. They're like
Okay.
hit or miss. The confidence
Yeah.
isn't there, which I think is
Yeah.
like my biggest hindrance.
Yeah. So you want to have a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a mastery, but a healthy competence
Yes,
level
yes.
for all movements in the arsenal. Yeah.
Yes.
And then, since we're, like, just while I'm thinking of it, I know I said lastly and I asked you a question, but have you done any competitions, CrossFit competitions?
I did the Mardi Gras one.
Yeah, Max ever Mardi Gras. Just the once?
Yeah.
This most recent one?
Why do you seem so
wait.
morose about it?
No, because
Let's get some excitement.
no, I'm trying to think. No, I'm sorry. I did one at the old gym. The last one at Gambit 2.0. I think I did that one.
3.0,
You're right.
to be
3.
technical.
My bad. My bad.
I'm just saying, we're putting it on record, so.
That one, yes.
Yeah.
I did it there too.
Okay, so you've done 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And it was a positive experience. Are you thinking about doing more competitions maybe?
I
or-
guess maybe I responded like that because in my inbox, like Doria and Aaron and Ken are pressuring me to do one. And I'm the last one to commit to it because I'm just nervous.
Yeah.
So that's where that whole like,
Fair enough.
"Ugh."
What are you going to do?
Backlot bout.
Backlot bout?
Is that it? I think so.
It's the only team of 4 one that I know
Yeah.
of coming up.
2 and 2s, yeah.
In any case, not
Okay.
pressuring you to all do it, but if you're,
But also,
That was some good
pressuring
insight.
you.
also as your coaches, our personal advice would be to do it. Okay.
Thanks for the insight.
Anything else you want to add, Sean? Any other?
No, I think
Questions?
we touched on some great things.
Great. Well, Danny, it's been a pleasure talking
This
with
was
you.
so
Thanks
cool.
for joining
I was
us
so
on
nervous going in.
Between Two Racks.
Sweet.
Tune in next time, folks. Thanks for watching.